Hello and welcome to another episode with Loki the Old Crow, and we are here with another matchup in the Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition Facebook Community Cup. This is between Mr.Truckert and Countercounterrevolutionary. Countercounterrevolutionary is in blue as Japanese, and Truckert, sorry, is in green and he's playing as the Ethiopian. It's a pretty interesting matchup. It's on Arena and it's their first game, best of three, as is with all games in this cup. Arena again picked. So what's interesting about this matchup is Japanese samurai versus shuttle warriors. That could potentially bring the Ethiopian quite a lot of heartache, as the samurai tend to absolutely devastate other units, and this is particularly the case with the shuttle warriors because of their low HP. So let's get right into it. Both players getting housed. Bit of inefficiency here. They should really move all these over here. Inefficiency here. Going for the baller. Ball's dropped quite far from the TC. I'm guilty of making most of these mistakes and housed. I always get housed as well. Fair play to him. And blue gets housed, and he's going for the baller as well, and drops it closer to his TC than green. We've got 2 on stone in Dark Age, which is kind of strange. You normally see that with the tower rushes. We've got 4 farms going up here for Trucker, and there's nothing wrong with this placement in particular. Normally the usual thing is to put it around your TC, but because he's got that mill there, there's not too much inefficiency there. As we get into the feudal age, blue drops down blacksmith and a archery range. That allows him to go up to the next stage. However, his resources aren't there yet. Green, on the other hand, he's reached feudal age and started to take fletching for bows, which isn't out of the ordinary, because the Ethiopians are a archer civilization. They fire 15% faster. They receive a nice little care package every time they go up. Pikeman upgrade is free, which is great against cavalry civs in Castle Age. As said before, their unique unit are the Shotel Warriors or Shuttle Warriors. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll probably flip between the two. 40 HP on that, 16 attack, high attack, and they basically almost instantly trained once you tech into Royal Heirs. Torsion Engine also gives you a little bit more flexibility when it comes to siege. Japanese normally really good on hybrid maps or water maps because of their fishing ship bonuses, so you get +2 hit points and 5% 5% work rate in Dark Age. It's 10%, feudal 15, castle is 20%. Also, no, 15% is Castle Age, 20% is Imperial Age. The lumber camps, mining camps, and mills are 50% cheaper, saves you a fair bit of wood. Allows you to go into archers and skirms early doors in Feudal Age. Probably not going to see a lot of that in Arena because they're pretty much useless against stone walls. Infantry attack 25% faster starting in Feudal Age, which is really good, especially if you bring in aggression early doors. And then they got some additional bonuses to trebs and towers, and yeah, so this is looking like it's going to be an interesting matchup. Blue is already running away with the score here, over 1,000, closing in on 2,000. And like with most arena games that I tend to cast, I'm just gonna play it on high speed, because the opening, nothing really happens really in the opening too much, other than, you know, commenting on other players' inefficiencies such as this. In the early eco game, a lot of farms going down here, and let's see who goes up to castle first. It's blue. Blue's going up to castle first. Markets up. Not so much housing going off now. Really like this play here. House walling in his lumber, and we've got a little skirmish going on. It's just a scout, and I don't really rate this scout is going to die. The scout is going to die. 3 scout traded for 1 skirm. I'll leave it up to you whether that's worthwhile or not. First castle going down in a really odd position for blue. It doesn't really do much. Another thing I like to comment on this as well is putting 2 castles down now. See, you can understand this with Japanese because they want to be able to churn out samurai nice and safely behind walls. However, if green gets the upper hand and starts trebbing, the problem that blue will have is that there's no space between the wall and his castle. Therefore, his counter trebs will not be able to fire at the enemy trebs because of this 1 tile gap here. So if say green sets up round here and starts trebbing down the castle, blue could create trebs, but they won't be in range to counter them from behind the wall. Green immediately going into knights and dropping down a 2nd TC. Blue's dropping a 2nd TC down here. Blue's eco is looking really good at the moment. A lot of villagers on stone. I'm guessing that was a hangover from having to build, well, not having, but choosing to build 2 castles back there. Green goes for a castle outside his wall. Doesn't really do much this, I don't think. Okay, guards his gate, but what's the purpose of that? He's already got his TC here to guard that gold. We start to see the beginnings of skirmishes here. Knights are always going to beat skirms in that case here. We've got a group of 12 dancing samurai, all dabbing. Dab, 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 dab. Let's see if the samurai actually do dab on the Ethiopians. And you can see this house wall is getting thicker by the day. A lot of farms going in now. How many is that? That's 27 farms for greens. Let's see, greens. 11. There's already a huge score difference coming in now between green and blue. Samurais are looking around, doing some scouting, looking for any weaknesses in the walls, trying to get in there. Shuttle warriors have been created. And we've got crossbows sat behind the gate here, and they're going to do some damage to blue. Green is now heading into Imperial Age. No university yet, so there's no ballistics on his archers. lots of people on gold for blue there. Samurai looking round. Oh no, they're starting to get attacked by a castle. You really want to keep them away from that castle because it's not enough of them to take down the castle effectively, especially with all those shotels. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Shotels versus samurai, and the shotels get absolutely destroyed, even with the castle helping. No murder holes, so the samurai can attack that continuously without taking anything back, but decides to march in between the now garrisoned TC and the castle, and that leaves 1 samurai dabbing on his own. Scout continuing to do the rounds here, and a 3rd castle, again not really in a good position there. Castle's not going to do anything there in my opinion. If green does find out that this castle is here, the green could easily just break through one of these walls and take out his eco without even bothering to do anything with the castles. And so green's been in Imperial Age for a little while now. It's dropping another TC back there. Although it's very tempting to drop a TC there, I think it would be better off here, where you could actually use some of the space to delete this wall, so use some of the space for farms. Obviously this is going to be primarily with wood in mind, but the problem is you have a lot of unusable off the map territory there that you can't farm. Blue's eco looking absolutely storming at the moment. Green's building another castle there. I like that castle placement. It locks down that stone there and allows you to build more castles off the back of that. I'd like to see a castle here, perhaps round here, or at least a TC round here or here, so that you can cover that gold and put some more farms down. Crossbowman's got his upgrades, which is nice. and things slow down a little bit. So we're going to fast forward a touch. Here come a wave now, upgraded nicely. Excuse me. Green going to get that extra gold from there. That way he doesn't have to rely heavily on the late game on gold that is outside his walls. Look at this for an army now as blue really starts to ramp up his military. What's he got here? He's got 42 military units, 24 halberdiers, 21 samurai. No siege with him, so we'll see what happens here. So he's already spotted this castle beforehand, and he's going to go attack it now. We have Arbs incoming now. Arbs could potentially do a lot of damage to these units now. We'll see 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, 4 down, 5 down, 6, 7 units that Arbs managed to take. However, as you may have seen on those previously trailing shots, they're not hitting moving units very much unless they're all stacked up like this. Took about 10 units down now, 11, 12, but 12 units for a castle and 15 units now for a castle and a TC, I think seems fair, along with that massive group of villagers there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 villagers. Definitely a good trade there for blue. Green's going around collecting relics, which I find is a really good idea. Monastery could do with being back here, so it doesn't get anywhere close to the front line. But look at this. These Arbs are not really doing much damage because they haven't got ballistics yet. I can see the ballistics is now queued, but it really requires blue's units to just stand there in order for the Arbs to actually be effective. It's odd because he's got upgraded quite a lot on him. But it looks like blue may or may not get this castle down. Arbs successfully, and of course murder holes and Arbs successfully defending that castle. But here comes another wave. Boom. Castle goes down. Get a few Vil picks there. So we're talking maybe luckily those Arbs have been covered by the castle, otherwise they may have got absolutely trounced there. But I think blue probably pushed forward maybe 60 units there and lost them all. However, he took a good 20 Arbs out, a TC and 2 castles, and as well as around 12 villages. I'll leave that up to you to decide whether that was a good trade or not. I'd be happy with that personally, especially as he pushed forward with no siege at all. Green's still running around collecting those relics. Here comes another wave. The third wave of samurai, pointy boys, but this time he's brought siege with him. Got 56 military units going in now. 25 Arbs and counting, coming up to around 30 Arbs, but look at this. Trebs are coming out. There's not really much these can do about it because they've got pointy boys with him. Halberdiers against cavaliers. You know who wins. And now he's going to open a big old hole in Green's base. Got to be careful with those samurai. You can't go bit by bit, otherwise they're all going to die. But here come the samurai now. 35 Arbs and counting. 32, 30, 26. Wow, these Arbs have been absolutely destroyed here. 15, 14, 13. I can't even count how quick they're going now. It's pretty safe to say those Arbs are now dead. This is looking exceptionally difficult now. A difficult position here for Green. The impetus is with blue, and here comes another wave, just grinding down now, grinding Green down, opening up his base, doing some raiding. But meanwhile, he's expanding to the front and to the right of his own base. His eco is looking fantastic, and bringing skirms now for the hard counter to Arbs. However, I don't know if that's actually necessary anymore because he's trapping down his production buildings, and also the Samurai doing a pretty good job anyway. 4 relics captured by green there, so well played to him. And Truckert T calls the GG. I've got to say, good game there for both of you. Let's return to the map and have a quick recap. So it looks to me that blue has basically came in with the idea of, I'm going to create lots and lots of samurai, hence the 3 castles behind his wall. Lots and lots of samurai, and I think the strategy is to release them in waves and eventually break them down and break his enemy down. He notices midway through the game that green is fond of using archers, so he starts quite rightly pushing out elite skirms that have also been upgraded. What I think let green down here was there was no real aggression from green early doors. I think he could have perhaps placed the castles down a little earlier, reduced some of the inefficiencies in his eco, and produced a lot of shuttle to bring that initial aggression to blue. Bring some trebs behind that and hopefully take out his castle, stop him producing samurai. That would be great. Again, this is my own perspective as a noob myself, and obviously take what I say with a grain of salt. But yeah, overall great play by both players. Very well done to Counterrevolutionary. Let's go take a look at the statistics. So military, blue takes it. Economy, blue takes it by quite a margin there, and same with technology. Society, they're tied, and overall score there's about 5,000 in it. KD goes to green, well done on that. Buildings raised goes to blue, no surprise there. Largest army is 100, that's quite considerable amount considering green's largest army was 47. Food collected, that's massive. That is a huge discrepancy there, and probably one of the main contributors to defeat, as well as the gold here. That's quite an interesting stat. 4,500 ish more gold collected, and that's with green and his 4 relics on top of that as well. Stone collected to a greater proportion was green, and again wood. Blue wins the eco hands down. Let's have a look at the times. Feudal age, not much in it, less than a minute. The castle age, green up there significantly quicker, and also with the imperial age significantly quicker. Probably should have brought the aggression a little earlier there and capitalised on that discrepancy. Villager high 99 to 68, that could be the reason why the ecos were vastly different. Same amount of castles despite green having took more stone, and the relic gold 750, so we factor that in. 750 take away that's like 7,500 gold, brings the discrepancy up to about 5,000 gold, which is, as you can imagine, quite a lot. Here you can see quite clearly the waves coming in for blue. And as these waves are coming in, green starts to slowly decline. I think pretty good strategy there employed by blue. Yeah, really quick one there for you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope to see you on the next one. Well played to Mr.Truckert and Counterrevolutionary, and take care.